Welcome back to Cheddar's Opening Bell, everyone. I'm Kristen Scholler here at the New York Stock Exchange. New data released last week from the National Association of Realtors shows that last year was the worst year for existing home sales since 1995. So joining me to discuss the data and look forward to the home market this year is Tamir Shemesh, a licensed real estate broker and founder of the Shemesh Team at Nest Seekers International. Tamir, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Well, last year, just 4.1 million existing homes were sold. That was down about 19% from 2022. Where does that leave us for this year when it comes to setting up the next 12 months for the housing market?
Well, look, you have to look at the history. 2021 was a banner year in terms of transactions and prices. There were tons of transactions. Prices soared to a record-breaking point, which broke again last year. But you have to look that the market was very hot and lots of transactions happened. And then in 2022, with the Russia-Ukraine war, rise of inflation, oil prices went up, and interest rates went up, which is very, very sensitive to the real estate market, started the slowdown, which peaked in 2023, where the mortgage rates of 30-year fixed, for example, was up to 8%. It is down now to about 6.5%, which give us some more transactions than before. But yes, we did see that there were lack of transactions last year, and with the Fed indicating that they're going to lower the interest rates, we're hoping that we will see more transactions in 2024. 2023 was a perfect storm, if you want to look at it this way, because the interest rates went up to, I would say, the last 20 years, and a record of the last 20 years. But sellers also did not want to lose their interest rates on the existing mortgages, and therefore did not look to sell and purchase new apartments, which took the inventory level to a very low one that affected the real estate market.
Right. Well, we've seen interest rates be probably the biggest topic of conversation, certainly in the stock market and the housing market, right, these past few years, as they did climb to a more than 20-year high. We do see them start to come down, Tamir. So I would assume that that would be good for potential buyers. How do you anticipate that will unfold? How low could we see rates go, and what would that do to demand this year?
Well, that depends on Powell, not on me. But we're hoping to see that they indicated there will be 4 rate cuts, and we're hoping to see them happening sooner than later, so it will give a boost to the market. What we're also seeing is that I have 2 sellers right now that had a 7-year ARM and 10-year ARM that came due, and their rates went up from 2 and 2.25 to 6.75. So they are selling their apartments now. One is buying an apartment and one is renting. So we will start seeing those kind of sellers that will be looking to transact as well. So the real estate market is very sensitive to the interest rates and inventory. So once we'll start seeing that there will be more inventory, then more transactions will happen, along with the lower interest rates.
So now, how can someone tap into Nest Seekers International and your services specifically, Tamir, if they are trying to reach their housing goals?
Yes, we servicing the whole country, and we have also international affiliates. I'm negotiating right now on a deal at Central Park Tower with the foreign buyers that came through our network at Nest Seekers. And as you may know, that Central Park Tower got a contract signed on $150 million apartment. So we are looking that there is pickup in the market also with consumer sentiment and with developers looking to convert a commercial building to a residential and starting a new construction.
Very good to know. Now, supply obviously is a major factor, right? We know that a lot of builds actually happened last year because existing homes really across America were hard to come by. Inventory has always been a challenge. Where do you see inventory playing out this year? And if someone does have a hard time finding inventory, what is the best route?
I think that the inventory in terms of new developments is tight and will continue to be tight unless we'll be able to convert many commercial building into residentials. Resale, we will start seeing a pickup, mainly also because a lot of homeowners have the adjustable mortgage rate, which will come due, and then they will transact either looking at the larger homes or smaller homes. So they will be, people always have to live somewhere. So they will transact no matter really what's happening, but obviously lower transactions affecting the inventory market and the interest rate, and the interest rates is affecting that as well.
We had seen for more than a year, actually, that it was less expensive. It was more affordable to actually rent versus buy based on inventory, based on interest rates, based on housing prices, the whole picture, right? When does that change?
It actually changed the second quarter of last year, where rental prices went up tremendously. So at one point, people that were looking to live in different areas were looking like, okay, the rental prices are extremely high at this point, and it maybe makes sense to purchase versus renting, and with help of family or with taking the mortgages. Look, the mortgage is now at 6.5% for 30-year fixed. It is high because everybody got used to a very low rate, but historically, back in the 90s and the 80s, the interest rates were far, far higher than what we have right now.
Tamir, I think my last question, I think I have only time for one more question, and that is, what advice would you give to potential buyers? What do they need to know to navigate this market?
Well, they need to look at their monthly expenses, and they need to compare it to the rentals as well. The rental market is at all-time high right now. So they have to talk with a mortgage broker that will give them an idea of their monthly payment and see that if it works better for them to purchase versus rent, and possibly save money now so they can have enough money for the down payment in the year to come.
All right. Tamir Shemesh, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it, with Nest Seekers International.